CBS 8 Mornings starts right now.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to your Thursday. The mics are working. Everything's working here today. Nice to hear. A little chilly start when you step out here this morning.
Oh, yeah. It was so chilly. But the moon, did you see it?
Yes.
It was like smiling over San Diego.
A little crescent.
Happy face. Yeah, a little crescent. But, I mean, very clear. So, yeah, of course, that adds to the chill factor. But also means it's not going to be a foggy start, hopefully, for the big Farmers Insurance Open. Let's send it over to Evan.
You are correct. Perfect 10 as far as visibility goes. 10 miles, which is good news for us this morning. Good news for all of the golfers who are going to be out there this morning. We kick off the day, as you heard, with some chilly temperatures out there. I actually turned on my little space heater this morning, getting ready, which I usually don't do because I'm like getting out the door. But I was like, hey, why not? I want a little extra warmth to kick off the day. 6 degrees in downtown San Diego as we speak. Temperatures are going to make their way to the upper 60s along the coastline, very similar to what we saw yesterday, except inland valleys are going to warm up by a few degrees. Mountains will warm up by a few degrees. The only spot that stays stagnant from yesterday is your coastline. Now, we also in just a bit are going to be talking about those winds that are picking up, high wind warning that'll be taking effect. So details on what that means for us as the next round of Santa Ana's comes our way is coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Family and friends remembering a South Bay student athlete who suddenly lost his life. They held a vigil for Micah Pietlawig, who was killed in a car crash over the weekend.
CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol joining us live in Chula Vista now with some of the tributes to this former Little League star. Good morning, Dana Marie.
Good morning to you both. I mean, hundreds of family and friends gathered here at Eastlake High School, where Micah Pietlawig did attend, and they said that it was the celebration of life was filled with so many memories and love. So many spoke about how much joy they brought into their life. Now, his former Little League coach did speak some beautiful words about him.
The moment he saw you, there was a giggle that or a laugh that he had that's indescribable, that made you absolutely know that he knew you were there.
I still never thanked you for when the Little League series was going on and girls.
So many shocked to hear of a young life taken way too soon in a car crash at the U.S.-Mexico border early Saturday morning. He first made headlines when he helped take the Eastlake team to the 2013 Little League World Series. Many could recognize him by his long golden hair that peeked out of his baseball hat. He then went to play baseball at the University of New Mexico for just one season, but he made a lasting impact on the team, with the coach describing him as a guy who always had a smile on his face while spreading positivity. The night ended with everyone clapping 21 times and raising up lights for someone who has left a big mark in many people's lives. Now, as for the family, they are sharing that they have seen so much support, an outpouring of love during this really hard time. This beautiful celebration of life was last night, but of course, his memory will go on forever. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, live in Chula Vista for CBS 8. I'll send it back to you.
This morning, state investigators are working to find out what caused a window washer to fall to his death from an East Village high-rise. Happened shortly before noon yesterday at a building on 14th Street and National Avenue near Petco Park. Investigators say the window washer was working on the 8th floor when this fall happened, and he unfortunately died at the scene. The man's name has not yet been released, and since it was a workplace death, Cal OSHA is leading this investigation. This morning, we have new video of a brazen jewelry store robbery caught on camera in Escondido.
And now police are hoping someone might recognize one of the suspects. CBS 8's LaMonica Peters has the latest on what happened, what store owners are saying.
Two men are seen ramming their car in the front of this store, and now Escondido police are hoping someone knows who did this.
At 1:38 early Wednesday morning, a white Volkswagen SUV can be seen on this surveillance video sitting in front of the Jewelry and Repair Center on Mission Avenue. Then the car suddenly speeds up, crashing through the glass door and windows.
The suspects jumped out of the car, back out, and then entered into the jewelry store on foot. And one subject had a axe in his hand, or a hatchet, and then used that to defeat the display cases, and they were able to make off with some jewelry and some cash.
Detectives believe the SUV used in the burglary was stolen from Oceanside 2 days before this incident. They described the two suspects as Hispanic males, and both wore masks to conceal their identities.
We are requesting the public to take a look at the video, and if they can identify, if they know the people, clothing, whatnot, mannerisms, method of the the crime, if they could report that to our agency, we'd really appreciate it.
The Jewelry and Repair Center is a family-run business, and they say they've been in the jewelry industry for 2 generations. Rosa Macedo, a family member who didn't want to be on camera, says seeing the damage to the store was heartbreaking.
You just can't put together how somebody can actually do something like this.
Macedo says they've operated at this location for about a year, and other businesses in the area have tried to comfort and help them in any way they could.
The owner of the building came over and right away sent people over to help clean up and, help repair at least some of the damage. So I think it's a perfect example of the community coming together to help.
It's too soon to know just how much the damages will cost in this incident, but they say they are ready to open as soon as possible. If you have any information about this incident, you can go to CBS8.com and click the link for this story.
Yeah, let's hope they are found soon. LaMonica, thanks for that report. Today is the federal deadline for healthcare workers in California to be vaccinated against COVID-19. The Supreme Court last week upheld the Biden administration's requirement for workers in facilities that receive federal Medicaid and Medicare dollars. The mandate will take effect first in states such as California that did not challenge the Biden administration's rule. February 25th is the deadline for the rest of the states. President Biden will be able to fill his first Supreme Court seat this year, with Justice Stephen Breyer expected to retire this summer.
Deborah Alferon is on Capitol Hill with details on who may replace him.
Today, Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer is expected to announce his retirement at the White House.
Let him make whatever statement he's going to make.
President Biden declined to comment further as the news broke yesterday. But the president made this declaration on the campaign trail in 2020.
I'm looking forward to making sure there's a black woman on the Supreme Court.
The top candidates are all sitting judges. The frontrunner, 51-year-old federal appeals court judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, a Harvard Law School graduate and former law clerk for Justice Breyer.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
The 83-year-old Breyer, a liberal, was nominated by President Clinton in 1994. He's faced some pressure to retire while Democrats control Congress over concerns a Republican Senate would block any future nomination.
When exactly I should retire or will retire has many complex parts to it. I think I'm aware of most of them.
Breyer will likely stay on the bench until the end of the court's term this summer. Then all eyes will be right here on Capitol Hill for an intense confirmation process.
We want to get this done as soon as possible.
3 Republicans voted to confirm Jackson to her current position, including Maine's Susan Collins.
We can take our time, have hearings, go through the process.
Breyer's replacement will not change the court's ideological balance, a 6-3 conservative majority. Deborah Alferon, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, traders are reacting to the Federal Reserve indicating it's set to raise interest rates.
However, the central bank is leaving rates close to zero for now. The Fed says the reasons for the spiking rates are inflation and a strong labor market. The Fed slashed them to near zero in March of 2020 when the pandemic hit. Finance experts say it could take a year to get inflation under control.
It's just going to take a long time to put people in jobs, to move the goods from one place to another, and ultimately get them back, get the country back to a place where things appear more normal.
Now, analysts expect several rate hikes through 2022 after the first one, which is expected to happen in March.
Let's check in with Evan now and see how our Friday Eve forecast is looking here.
It's pretty nice so far. I mean, so far we have seen some chilly overnight lows, and you can see the view outside right now has been pretty dark, of course. We still have another 2 hours before we'll start to see that sunrise. But temperatures 46 degrees right now in downtown San Diego. Overnight lows are typical in this range, especially when we have those clear conditions. Typical average for this time of year would be about 50, so we're a few degrees shy of average, but that has been the trend over the last week or so as we've dealt with this ridge of high pressure. Last week we talked to you about how this ridge was likely going to stay overhead for the foreseeable future, and that still is the case. However, it does appear to start flattening in about 6 days or so, and that's when we'll start to see the possibility of a little bit of wet weather move our way. But in the meantime, temperatures are going to be mostly in the upper 60s and low 70s. I did want to give a mention to that high wind warning as the next round of Santa Anas come our way. So as we see that ridge send warm, dry air our direction, it's going to pass over the mountaintops, compress quite a bit, warm up significantly. That's the key part of those Santa Anas, is just how hot they are, and then send that hot air toward the coastline and your inland valleys. That in turn is going to mean some warmer temperatures across the coastline. So that's what this high wind warning really indicates. It takes effect at 10 p.m. tonight. It will last all the way through 4 a.m. on Saturday. So this is a relatively long lasting one. And notice that we are under a high wind warning. Most of the remainder of Southern California is under a wind advisory. That's because their winds are expected to be a little bit stronger, especially up toward areas like Riverside County and even Orange County. So right now we're mostly in the single digits. That last wind event that took place yesterday did wind down quite a bit. These winds will start picking up tonight into tomorrow, hitting their peak tomorrow morning. That's the key time frame. In just a bit, we'll walk through the next 48 hours and talk about how gusty it will be tomorrow morning. And we'll also take a look at that 8-day microclimate forecast.